Welcome to the Empowered Podcast with Deanna Merlino, a personal development show where I will be sharing with you just how to transform yourself into the best version of you, both inside and out. From fitness and nutrition to business and positive mindset work, I'll be showing you exactly how to live your best life. I'll be keeping it as real and raw as it gets. So get ready to peel back the layers and really transform yourself under the surface, because nothing is better than finding your purpose and living this life as your true, authentic self. This episode is brought to you by DMFit. Just like the importance of mental wellness, it's also so important to make sure that we're taking care of our physical wellness. With that being said, whether you are looking to get started on your fitness and exercise journey, or if you're an avid workout fanatic like I am, this app is for you. The DMFit app offers the option to work out in gym or at home with or without equipment. Each exercise plan is always different every single day and every single week to make sure that your body and its improvements are always progressing. Each workout is accompanied by a video demonstration as well as a written description. So no matter your level of exercise knowledge, you will be able to work out like a pro. Privately track your transformation with the ability to log your photos, as well as the weight you lifted and how many reps you achieved. Every empowered listener gets to take advantage of an exclusive 10% off discount with the code word EMPOWERED. Whatever stage of your exercise journey you are on, the DMFit app is here to take you to that next level. Guys, we have one body to live in for the rest of our life. This is your sign to start treating it the way it deserves to be. Available for download on Apple and Android, go subscribe to the DMFit app and get your body moving today. Hi guys, super excited to be back with you again today. And so I'm just thinking about all the different things coming into the new year that we can really work on ourselves to just improve for next year, because that's what we always want to be doing. We never want to be stagnant. We never want to stay in the same place. So one thing that I wanted to bring up today is when we say that we are too busy. I totally understand what it's like to be busy. I truly do. But it's so funny. I remember before I had the baby, granted, I was doing a lot more things, but I was always like, I'm so tired. I'm so busy. And then now that I have a child, I literally laugh at myself and I'm like, you have no idea what busy and tired was. But I know it's easy for us to all feel that way. Like we have absolutely no time in our day. Having those multiple businesses, when I talk to people, a lot of times I hear people say, I'm too busy. I wouldn't be able to do that. Or I hear people say, I would love to do what you do. And when I stop being too busy, I will. So I kind of want to break down and just show you guys to change that mindset, that you aren't too busy, that we actually all have time. And in the places where we actually, are too busy, stop saying that I'm too busy, but more say that I value this more. This is more worth my time than this. I think that's a good mindset shift. I think it's also so important to know with affirmations, and that I'm not going to go too deep into affirmations today. It's something that I'll definitely talk about at some point, but I am are two of the most important words that we say. So whether something positive or negative follows that is how your life is going to go, how your day is going to go, how your brain's going to think. There's a couple books that I read that are literally about changing the way your brain thinks, and your thoughts create like pathways. Think of like a car driving down the road. It creates a path, right? Well, that's the same thing that happens in our brain, those neural pathways. So when you think good thoughts, positive thoughts, your brain will create more of that. It's called neuroplasticity, I believe. But if you have bad thoughts, that's exactly what's going to happen. So before I go too deep into that, my point is saying when you say I am busy, your brain's like, okay, I'm busy. I'm going to keep recreating that. I'm busy. And it's going to always keep you busy. Versus if you say, I have time freedom, I have plenty of time, I am a free person with my time, whatever it is you want to be, it's so important to change that mindset. So I'm going to break down a couple of things today to really show you that we have more time, but also a few tips and tricks that I do for myself to find that balance, because I really want to help you guys find balance with all the things in your life. So I'm going to break down just a example day. And Everyone's is obviously going to look a little different, so play around with that. But I recommend you guys breaking down your own day so you can really see how much time you actually have, because I promise it's probably more than you think. So we will go with someone who has an hour commute to work. So that's an hour one way and an hour another way. So that's 2 hours. 8-hour workday. Some people work a little more, some people work a little less, but we're going to go with 8 hours. That's kind of the typical amount. We'll give you 2 hours for either picking up the kids after school or dinner or picking up, tidying around the house, throwing in a load of laundry, that kind of thing. So we'll give you 2 hours for that. An hour for relaxing and winding down, maybe with your significant other. My favorite thing to do at the end of the day is watching a show with my husband or a movie. Just decompress at the end of the day, right? We should all do that before we wind down for bed. It's so important for our brain and just our happiness level. And then we'll call it 8 hours for sleep. I know a lot of people sleep less than that. Some people sleep more. Honestly, for me, it changes with the season. Sometimes I get to sleep less. I need to get more done. So with all of those things, that makes up 22 hours of your day when you add that all together. So that is 2 hours left every single day. I think I had an hour in there for exercise too that I might have missed when I wrote this down, but I did have an hour of exercise in there. So my point being, you have 2 hours left per day, which is 14 hours per week of time that's just there. So what I like to do is I try to work during the week more than the weekend. So I would then call the weekend off those 2 days. So say that's 4 hours. That's 10 hours of free time during the week that I will put specifically directly into my business. What could you guys do with an extra 10 to 14 or give or take hours per week instead of wasting it? Imagine if you put that into a side hustle, starting one. Instead of saying, I don't have time to do that right now. You definitely do. You're just choosing not to. Or if you already have a business, redirecting your time to make it more meaningful, engaged time. Or, that number is going to give or take too. Sometimes you are going to want to, make more time for your friends. I think it's important to know that there's always a season. There's always going to be times when you're going to be busier. It's like the ebb and flow of life, the ebb and flow of business, relationships, it's just natural. So there are times when I am so focused on my business that I will let my friends know, hey, I'm not going to have time to really do much right now. I love you. Have fun without me. We'll catch up later. Or there's going to be times where I think that it's also important to note that play is so important. We all need that. We are driven by a reward factor as well. So I think it's important to make time for your friends. So schedule that in on those weekends. Sometimes I'll go have brunch or whatever, take that out of that free time, that 4 hours on the weekend. And I still have plenty of time to still do all the other things that are actually meaningful in my life. So another thing that I want to touch on, because it's so relevant right now, I heard this, I was at a retreat and I heard this and it was like a gut punch because I've definitely done it before. So I think it's so important to bring it up. The average person, I wrote this down so I get it right. The average American, it's different for each country. So we'll go with the US, is scrolling on their phone for an average of 3 hours and 45 minutes per day. That's disturbing. And it's so funny because I feel like we're always saying when someone's like, oh, how have you been? We're just naturally like, I'm busy. I think it's just like a natural habit that we've picked up at this point that I really want to help you guys break. So let's look at that a little further. 3 hours and 45 minutes of scrolling a day equates 26 hours and 15 minutes a week that you are wasting on your phone. Let's go into that even further. That is 9,581 hours and 15 minutes of scrolling in the year. Guys, come on. That is such a waste of time. It honestly is like, it turns my stomach because I know that's true. I've done it. I'm not saying that I'm free from that. So as someone who works on social media a lot, one of the things that I have been implementing for myself, so a great tip for you, is to schedule your scroll time into your calendar or your schedule. So as being my own boss, it's really great to not have your own boss, but it's really easy to also get lost in the time because I'm like, well, I don't have a boss. I can do it later. I can do it later. I can do it later. And it just keeps going. When you work and have a job, you can't just say, oh, well, I'll do that business meeting later. Like you're told where to be at a specific time. So there are pros and cons of both. So now I try and make a schedule where I schedule that in. So I think that's a great way for you guys to make sure that you're doing what you need to do and then getting off. So going back to that free time that you have, we'll say for starting a side hustle, whatever it may be, an Etsy store, a nutrition business like mine, if you want to sell clothing, whatever it is, right? Make that schedule, kind of like I was just saying, and block off time in your day. If you write it down, you're more likely to stick to it. If you write it down and put it on a schedule, like pretend you did have a job, like a regular, typical 9-to-5 job, and you're more likely to get that done. Now, some of us are so busy that it's really hard to do 2 hours at one time. That's okay. Another tip is to chunk it, break it down, do 10 minutes here, 15 minutes here, whatever it is. Break it down into little parts during your day. It makes it feel less overwhelming. But at the end of the day, you're still getting what it is that you need done. So I feel like that's really, really helpful there. Another way that I make sure that I stay on track and do those things is what I like to do is after I get done what I wanted to, I treat myself. So instead of just watching, binging Netflix, I will watch Netflix after I finish my work for the day. So it's like a reward thing there too. Another thing that I learned recently, which is kind of crazy to me, but it makes total sense. Those things like Netflix, maybe video games on your phone, even reading, which is meant to be healthy, they have addictive qualities. They trigger the dopamine receptors in your brain, just like drugs. So we do it more and more and more and more. That's like, why they have series available all at one time, because you get sucked in, right? You need to know what the next thing is. I know when I read a good book, I'm like, I need to read the next chapter. Or if I've ever played video games, it's like, well, just a little longer. So really, truly, the only way to change that habit is to honestly just stop doing it. And once you stop doing it, then you're going to get back into the habit where you're able to do it at more of a acceptable timeline versus just getting lost in it. Another thing that I do to make sure that I stay on track with my time is I've created a cleaning schedule. So think of all the things that you have to get done. Your laundry, cleaning the floors, cleaning the toilets, the dishes, vacuuming, whatever it may be. I take all of those things for the week, say that it's 10 different things. So again, I like to do my stuff during the week so that I can relax on the weekends. Obviously, your schedule is going to be different. So break those 10 things into 2 a day. So we'll say on Mondays, I'm going to do my laundry and I'm going to do my dishes. On Tuesday, I'm going to get groceries and I'm going to clean the toilets. When you break it down, it's easy to fit it in versus when you do it all at once, it's so overwhelming. You're likely not going to get it done. You're going to squirrel and go in 10,000 directions. At least I do. And it's going to take up a ton of time versus just sprinkling it in. So I think that's a great way to make sure that you have more time as well. And if you guys don't, I have to say this, if you guys don't use like a grocery ordering service, you are just hurting yourself. Honestly, for me, being a busier person, it's easier for me to bulk shop. I like to do it once every 3 to 4 weeks. I order a ton and it delivers right to my door. If you don't want to spend the money, or if you have extra time, another really great thing I know, like, I don't know what grocery stores you guys have, but Tops, Walmart, Aldi, which is my favorite, you can order your food ahead of time and then you pick it up at whatever time works for you. So that's another really great tip. And then the last thing, here's the fun part. This is the best thing that I've ever done is start saying no. We are naturally people pleasers and we'll say yes to a lot of things. And then we're even more busy, right? Only say yes to things that are worth your time. Ask yourself, is it bringing me closer to my goal or further away from my goal? And if the answer isn't an overwhelming, yes, this is helping me, or yes, this is making me happy, then I promise that it's absolutely not worth your time. And once you start saying no to people and things, it's such a powerful feeling. It's such a stress relief to take back control into our lives that we've definitely given away. I'm all about that balance and making time for your friends and doing the things that are fun and the things that are important. But at the end of the day, our success, our future happiness, wealth, all the things for ourselves and our families, that is more important than saying yes to the temporary feel-good things. So I really hope that these tips are going to help you guys realize that you're not too busy. And the last little thing I want to say, I want to give you a little challenge. When someone asks you, how have you been? Don't just say, oh, I've been busy, but I'm good. I think, like I mentioned, it's such a habit. I think in this age, it's easy for us to start having such superficial conversations and stop wasting everyone's time and actually delve in and say, I've been good. This has been going on. It's going to strengthen that friendship, that relationship. And it also makes you really think about the things that have been going on in your life and allows you to evaluate them. So the next time and moving forward, someone says, how have you been? Don't just say, I'm busy. Because remember, what you say is very important. And also, why not create better relationships at the same time? So guys, I hope these tips help. Have fun unbusying yourself and have a great day. And I can't wait to talk to you guys next week. Thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. If you want to find out more, you can follow me on Instagram at Empowered with Deanna and my personal page, Fit Deanna Lolita. You can also visit me on my website, which is DeannaMerlinoFit.com. Make sure that whatever platform you guys are listening on, please rate and subscribe. And this means so much to me. It's going to help get me out there to help so many other people. I'm so grateful that you're here with me on this journey of wellness and self-empowerment. I cannot promise that it will always be easy, but I do know that it will always be worth it. Stick with me, and together, let's start living as the version of us that we were meant to be. Because the world is waiting for your gifts, and you deserve to live the life of your wildest dreams and beyond. So friends, let's get empowered.